Hello everybody and a very warm welcome. I'm Nadine, and if you like the channel, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It's very much appreciated. It's this time of the year. We are going on vacation. We are traveling again, thankfully, and we might buy some vinyls during, or do we say vinyls? We say records. We might buy records in certain countries and trying to get the records very safely from A to B. And I got some requests concerning this topic because there seems to be a huge price range with bags to get the jobs done. And there was one particular request from Philip from Spain, hello Philip, who asked me that he's traveling from Spain to Canada 2 times a year and he's bringing records back and forth. And he did some research and found a bag which cost a few $100, and he asked me if there might be a cheaper solution. Philip, in my opinion, there are many possibilities and many ways to do that, and quite cheaper than paying a few $100. I want to point out that all the products I'm showing you are paid with my own money. I'm not being sponsored. I didn't get any discount. I didn't get things for free. So what you hear is what I bought with my own money. Just to be absolutely transparent with you. Okay, let's get started. If you are traveling by train and or by car, there are very good options and very cheap options to carry your vinyl. I personally use these kind of tote bags. When you are on record fairs or when you are in Germany, that's the case. When you're in the supermarket, you get these bags very cheap for €1 or €2, where you can put in your groceries, you can reuse them, and they're also very good for records. Let's put some records in. So, the good thing about this, when you are in a train, you can hold this, first of all, you can carry it around very good. You can hold the records in your hands, or you can put the records somewhere where you know they're safe. Because you have to consider, but I'm pretty sure you already know that, other people give up, about your luggage. They don't really care about that. So you have to take care of this yourself. And usually when I'm using these transportations, I'm using these bags. You can also put some cardboard in the bag and in the front to give it some extra safety. That was one way to do it. In the car, it's the same. Make sure that the records are in a cool place in the car. They're not, not so happy with heat, and you can put it everywhere. It's a very cheap way to do that. Another thing is if you keep the cardboard, at least some of them, when you get new records, because when you travel, you can reuse these cardboards, put some records in. You can even tuck some tape around it, and then you also have a very good way to transport the records. Traveling by plane. Well, that's sometimes a very challenging aspect. So back in the day when I was traveling to the United States, what I did, I went to a local post office or some other store who had cardboard. If I remember correctly, it's a long time ago, when I went into the post office, they had small packages that fit records very well. And I put in some records in these cardboards like I did just a few seconds ago. So, and I made sure that they were in the cardboards, and I had a few suitcases with me, and I split these packages up in the suitcases. I stopped doing this because out of personal experience and experience some of my friends had with doing this, because if your luggage is been treated like this, you can be sure that you can pack those things up as best as you can, but the chances are pretty high that the stuff is getting damaged. Also, what happened to a friend of mine just a few weeks ago, in Europe, especially in Germany, I know how it is, it's absolutely chaotic on the airports. And we have a huge problem with handling the luggage. So One of my best friends was traveling. He got some vinyl. He had it in his luggage, and the luggage was standing in the burning heat for hours on the runway. And yes, there were 2 records who got warped. So you have to really consider that. There's also some examples from boxes I had in the past using them, or also, like I said, when you're traveling by train or by car. These are wonderful. They're cheap, they do the job. Here's a larger box. You know, don't throw the stuff away. Keep 1 or 2 boxes. You'll never know when you need to transport records. That works pretty well. That does the job, and it's not too expensive. I was actually very shocked because the price ranges of those Trolleys travel bags for vinyl, they are from €200 to €700. I saw a €700 vinyl bag. It's made out of leather or something, I don't know, but that was, wow, that's expensive. Well, if you are a DJ, or if you need to get records from A to B or backwards on a regular basis, like a few times a week, then these trolleys or these kind of transportation things you get from certain companies are a very necessary investment for you, but not if you're doing it 2 or 3 times a year or something like this. What I got when I went on record fairs or some other things is I got this bag. It's a few years old. It cost back then about €20. That's a DJ bag. You can put in some records. I wouldn't put in too many records. It's like 20 is, I think, the max, because it's €20, but and you have to consider it's all plastic. So weight could be a huge problem, but I never had one so far because I didn't overflow this bag with records. You have huge space for records. You have a back pocket up in the bag. You can also use this as a backpack, which can be very handy if it's getting too heavy. You have a bag up in front for whatever reasons. This bag I'm using, if I buy some 7 inches, I can easily put them in here. And if you have like keys or something else, you can easily put them in this bag. So, and for many years, this bag is doing the job if you don't want to use cardboard or you just want to have a bag. It was back then €20. I don't know how much it is today, but I don't think that they increased the pricing so much. It did the job. I'm not using this bag when I'm on the plane. I'm not using this bag when I'm on the plane. Actually, I stopped putting records in luggage where I don't have control what's happening. If you just have your hand luggage, you can put records in the cardboard, in such a cardboard or whatever, in your handbag, because you have control over it. And the possibilities that someone is throwing something on the bag when your bag is above your head, I don't think the chances are too high. But if you have this bag and put the records in it, and someone is throwing their stuff on it, and they are doing it because they're in the hurry, they might get late on the plane, they're happy they found some space, they've thrown stuff on it. They really don't care what's inside them. So I'm not using this on a plane. So I found for myself a very good solution to get records on the plane and also to have a bag I can take with me next to my hand luggage. And I love this bag. It took me almost a year to find it, and unfortunately, these bags are not being made anymore. I don't know why, but I got this bag from Crane Hardware. In Cologne, we have a store, it's called Music Store. You find some footage from that store at the end of this video, and I got this bag. I was looking for exactly a bag like this, where I can put in some record, which is very heavy. It's not heavy, but it's very protective for the records, and you can perfectly put this on the plane with you. I got a sweet deal on it because it was the last one they were having, and it was the salesperson told me they have it here for a very long time in the store, because they bought the last bunch of Crane hardware. He said they made one of the best storage solution for all kinds of DJ music stuff, but they stopped doing that, so that was the last batch. And you can still find these on eBay or somewhere, and between 40 to 50 euro is the maximum I would pay for this, but you won't regret it. Let's open this thing up. So, what you find on the inside is some protection stuff, which you can easily remove. If you're only, traveling with just 1, 2, or 3 records, you can perfectly put them in their protection sleeve. Within this, you close it, make it, close it, and you can travel. If you have more records, like 20, you can remove this, and you can remove that. You can put it in the other luggage you're having, no problem with that. And, well, let's fill this thing up, I would say. The last time I traveled with this, I got in 20 records. And, well, let's see how this turns out. Let's try the rest. No risk, no fun. Okay. So make sure that the corners are all right. Okay. So if you feel that there's way too much pressure on it, but as you can see, I can easily close the zipper. Let's have a look. And there were at least 20 records. At least. I didn't count it, but at least. So, and then you can carry this. It's, of course, now it's heavy. When it's empty, it weighs about 1.6 kilo. You can carry this around. And it's, people can throw stuff on it. Of course, you can't drive with a car over that bag. A friend of mine asked that if that's possible. But no, of course not. So, yeah, these are the things I recommend. Like I said, if you're traveling very often, these high-end, hundreds of euros trolleys or whatever kind of bags might be a possibility for you. But there are way cheaper options to consider, like the cardboard, like the tote bag. And it always depends on how you're traveling. If you're traveling by bike, there might be a backpack solution like this one, which not with plastic, a little better one, a good option, but I wouldn't spend a few €100 on a vinyl bag if it's not your professional job doing that. So, I hope I answered all the questions. If you have other questions, please let me know. I'm trying to answer them as good as I can. Once again, I wasn't paid to do that. I'm not being sponsored and all of this, and hope you enjoyed it. I'm wishing you guys, here in Germany, it's tremendously hot. I'm melting away. I'm wishing you guys a great week. Have a great weekend. All the best to you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Listen to good music, and I see